Welcome to another episode of Exploring the Vintage NFT Space podcast with Zero G. Today, I'm excited to have with me Yoni, one of the early OG Rare Pepe artists. Thanks for joining me today.
Ciao, Zero G. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, looking forward to talking with you. You've got some of the a cool selection of early Rare Pepes, including the what are considered to be some of the first sports cards. But before we jump into that, why don't you tell me how you first learned about crypto, and then what intrigued you enough or motivated you enough to actually make a purchase, your first purchase?
Well, basically, I was studying political science in Italy back then, like in the 90s, university, and I dropped out because I found like an advert, Hewlett Packard hiring technicians, and so I say, no, I wanna be computer guy. So what I did basically in a few years, I was like the number one of the technicians in Italy, mission critical banks, and I had like few hundred people under my control, and basically I always been into IT and computers. Computer is a kind of a good friend that never lies to you. And so nothing. Then I opened my little ISP, and then when I had to exit, basically, I had an exit, and I moved to London. So here in London, where I am now, I met a few people, a few interesting people. Among them, there were like these crypto pioneers talking about 2010, 2011. Occupy St. Paul, Occupy crypto hippies. And when they were like telling me, like, oh, there is this Bitcoin, I like the bit. Just a couple of months, I like because I had too many things going through my brain. And then I decided to move in, make a small purchase, and I got in $6.50 the first time I remember. But I was also mining. I was also mining with my IMAX in my office, and it was like I don't know. They were mining just the cheap CPU. Pum, pum, pum. So yeah, and basically it for me when I found out about crypto was made for geeks like me. You can send money via email. You can purchase without like going to beg any bank to give you the tools to do it. So yeah, it was like I always loved it. It was what the thing that was missing to email, basically, to be able to send money to, and that's it. Yeah, through anarchists.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean I remember, it was, yeah, for me too, it was also really big when, you first realized that you can use that and you don't have to rely on, a third party in order to facilitate your payments and transactions, because that was always a big pain point early on in the web.
Exactly. It was PayPal, and then I got maybe, for example, then after later on, I was like trading LTCs, and for example, I quite a few, so I sold them through eBay,
Mm-hmm.
just like packages, and basically got scammed 5 times in a row. Incredible. There was somebody on the other end keep on buying my stuff, and then they said they didn't receive them, and they got the account hacked. So basically, PayPal refuses to do business with me after a while. But I had no, you know. So I say, oh, thanks. I'm gonna just use crypto for just
Yeah,
okay.
that's a good point, because yeah, you can't reverse the charge in crypto, so yeah,
Yeah,
scammer's gonna scam, right?
exactly. They used to me with me the technique of reversing charge when I was selling it was a game, not for a living. I was selling cryptos through
Yeah,
a normal circuit. And so what happens? They reverse the charge through the normal circuit, and they keep the crypto. like,
yeah, man, that's super lame.
uh, so yes, they say fuck, they say damn. I'm gonna just use them, and oh, that's it. It was 2011. It was like there was a lot of bubbly things going on in the city, St. Paul cathedrals. there was the stock exchange occupied, and then they moved to New York and everywhere else. But everything started here around the corner, basically. The whole world
Oh, that's
domination.
cool.
Go ahead. Zero.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and that's, we know that Satoshi was, at least influenced by the area too, with that Banks, that from that headline on the Genesis block. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. It was like the chancellor is bring Bailey now. Yeah, I
yeah.
think I might have met, if not him, somebody very close to him, but they they didn't say it was them anyway. Nice people, nice people. They taught me a lot.
Yeah, that's
Then
cool.
I made a few e-commerce websites and selling in bitcoins, and at the time it was going very well. Then for some reason there was a pump before empty gox, and then there was a dump. The first huge dump left the Bitcoin ecosystem like a cemetery. A lot of very nice little websites. They were already covering a large spectrum of, like, for example, like dividends for companies, and I don't know, all sorts, e-commerce, and all of a sudden the first dump from, I remember, from like 1,200, I think, to 400 or 380, and then he went
Yeah,
even
yeah, it got into the 300s.
he went even further down. I don't remember what year was there, was 2014, 15. And he left the first wave of the Bitcoin ecosystem, which was the best one, the freshest one. Okay, the style was like a bit archaeology of the websites, but still, they were covering a large spectrum of functionalities, and it became a symmetry. I mean, you used to find a lot of dead links, and then thanks God is back now, and it's like stronger, much stronger with this.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, fascinating that you're around the scene so early.
Oh,
Um,
of course.
yeah. And when did you, so, you were obviously super early with Bitcoin, and mining and all of that. Like, when did you find out about like the ability to use, the blockchain for NFTs?
Well, to be honest, that was a bit down the line.
Uh-huh.
Bit down the line, like 3, 4 years after. There was Namecoin, okay,
Yeah.
that I knew from 2011. But actually, I when I approached the use of Namecoin, I registered a couple domains which I lost, and they were not functional. So,
Hmm.
like, I'm a bit of a UX guy, so I never liked what was not too much functional, like was
Yeah.
expressing potentialities, but at the end of the day, the routing of the domain names it was a monopoly, and still,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
I didn't use them. I carved a couple of domain names which I don't know where they are now. It might be like uh,
it, it's funny. I bought some Namecoin back in 2012 for a similar reason. I just thought the decentralized nature of being able to have DNS names that you can't be censored was like a super important step. I mean, I never actually built anything out with it. I didn't buy any, even register any names back then because I didn't like have anything to host. But I just thought the idea and principle
yeah.
was so important.
Also, it was like just the .com boom, and the left like in a bubble, everybody, and we were like very delusional about the promises of doing something. We're gonna do, and we actually work on what was doing something, and so I ditched it. The possibility of writing anything on blockchain at the time. And then after, yeah, came around Pepe with the system of being able to connect even on the layer two, which is a layer two. I think the good definition about counterparty,
Mhm.
but that
Yeah, I
was
mean,
big down the line. Big down the
yeah. So
line.
when did you find out about Counterparty?
Counterparty itself, I heard because it was on top of the information clearly, and but I didn't really appreciate it at first, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had very few meetings with the guys when last time I met some top guy of the Ethereum, that Ethereum was not there yet, and I asked him, "Hey, what is this Ethereum about?" He said to me, "Hey, it's kind of counterparty color coin," and so it came out a totally different thing. But at the same time, yeah, ring the bell. I say, oh, so I dig a bit deeper, and then I left it because I was just like play trading on this. There was an exchange, Russian exchange called, what was his name? EBTC, if
Hmm.
I'm not wrong. And now there is seized by the authorities since long time. And it was funny because they were trading like Namecoin, Litecoin. The Litecoins were like absolutely cheap to the $0.01 each, you know.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Then there was Nova Coin. Then there was I don't remember the names either. And I think they started to trade XCP2, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
Then there was this big burning of event that they did. I didn't participate, and nothing. I was like not ignoring it, but I didn't really realize the potentialities at the time. Then after, what happened? Go ahead, ask me.
Yeah. So after you kind of like, well, when did you kind of like really appreciate the possibilities for counterparty and like dig in and find out like how did you find out about the early projects on it?
I was envisioning. Yeah, I was seeing it. You know, when if you can send any, if you can color any coin or any satoshi, if
Hmm.
you can mark the any transaction, for sure you could have sent any information on top of it. So I was conscious of the possibility, and but same time nothing. I walk my way anyway. One day I was looking these beats on Fortune, and there was this advert saying like, "Yeah, guys, come over. That we started to carve this Pepe memes on the blockchain," and I jumped on it because mainly because I think the many not I wouldn't say I'm an artist in that sense, but I've been an artist doing some IRL stuff, but in the sense many conscious people about like symbology, and now we know that Pepe is not of us peculiar of our era. It's a
Hmm.
symbol that crosses the time, like goes back to the era of ancient Egypt and stuff. No, so by chance, I remember that around 1999, at the end of last century, last millennia, everything. One day during my IRL, like doodling, I was drawing these hobbit houses under the hill, and two of these they came out like two eyes of a frog looking at me, like I say, wow. And those eyes of the frog, and the heel was green, and the eyes was like the Pepe eyes, like white with the kind of pupil that was the handle. So when I saw this thing of Pepe, I said, damn, I know this guy. So nothing, I follow, and I started to try to understand how can I publish. No, no, no. I was like pestering Mike and the scientists with my stupid questions. Incredibly, incredibly stupid that you won't believe it. Anyway, yeah, the most interesting thing was for me though that you can carve anything you want, they say. Okay. So I prepare a card much earlier than the one I dropped.
Hmm.
I prepared this card, and then one day gonna show it to you, and maybe the general public is not interested in it. But prepare this card. It was a politics card. I think it's still my best one, but really, really qualitatively, like it took me days, and I submit it. And I received this email said that sadly your car doesn't fit our directory. I say what? You say I can car anything I want. No, it was a bit extreme in the sense of politics. Okay,
Mhm.
let's not go in it because nowadays is no more actual. But and so nothing. I tried again, the same line, different characters, and it was botched again. So what I did, I say, here I want to be part of this situation. Absolutely, I want to be part of this. I always love to be pioneering, and a bit later than I was in, like 1 month after. And at the time, 1 month, it was like they changed the opportunity to mint less than 100, for example. And then from series 2 I jumped to the end of series 3, and the first successful drop I did was one of my youth hero was Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
And
but before we jump into your cards,
yeah,
I want to
yes, so
like
sorry.
uh obviously like you actually had some pretty good skill back in the day. Like did you get your like digital media skills from doing websites, or how did you like because like your first like one of your first cards is a GIF, but that's done pretty well considering the size limitations. I mean, what was your start with doing digital art?
I was doing banners,
Hmm.
commercial banners, like these
Yeah,
little
yeah.
tiny things that they in a little space of in the order of the pixel, you have to express the concept. Plus, you have to take away the weight and limit the colors, and it was like a kind of exercise which I always liked. And yeah, my skills, if any, but at the same time, when we started Pepify, then it became more like we were running against time. We wanted
Mhm.
to drop faster at the end. And also we were conscious that we were at some point we were cautious. We were like in a kind of archaeology stuff. So the pixel perfect wasn't mattering so much.
Okay.
It was more the concept. Yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah.
it's it's funny. It's easy to almost forget. Like how prevalent those like banner ads. That's what drove the whole internet economy for a long time. And
Absolutely.
like we've been using like pop up and ad blockers for so long now that it's easy to forget that that was such a big deal.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing like harmful ones. It was like more like I come from the Alps in Italy. So basically, I was doing banners for like hotels in,
Okay.
like car dealers. And so you take the small car and you make it run across the screen and stuff like that. Or the offer, special offer. No, I've never done some like Viagra. Or something like harmful. It was like I had an ISP. Basically, I made like 350 websites in a couple of years,
Uh-huh.
and then I had the exit opportunity. And since I was still young, and now I exit, and I say I want to go to. At the beginning, I wanted to go to Amsterdam because Amsterdam is very European city, and then my friend invited me to London, and I overstayed. I went to London like 2 times. The first time I've been 1 month. The second time 13 years. I just overstayed. I
Yeah,
forgot myself around. Yeah.
well, that's funny that I just hadn't thought about those ads for in so long. It kind of reminded me of something that was really funny. Gosh, it must have been back in 2018 or something. I was selling a couple servers that I wasn't using anymore, and
Mhm.
I ended up selling like a couple to a guy who was doing like robocalling stuff.
At
uh,
Yeah, the time we were mining with everything, every computer you turn a bit, you go back. You remember 2011? I don't want to brag. Like I was making like 2 bitcoins. I made overall 2 bitcoins per machine just with
Uh-huh.
in couple of months, 2 3 months, 2011.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were handling. Basically, I wasn't treasurized them like it was like I've been a geek for all my life. So when I met Bitcoin, for me it was like a realization that I can send money, I can send payments to obtain goods or obtain services just without bothering anybody, and in a matter of minutes instead of had- so it wasn't like a run to get rich. It was like I want to use this technology. That's it. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. The more and longer I've been into it, the more I appreciate it. It took me a long time to like really, again, the scope at which it can, help people and humanity is really profound. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I do agree. Even though my political consciousness just put me in front of some questions which I don't want to talk about it here. It can be like the thing and the opposite of the thing. But the Romans always say the virtus in medio stat. That means that you have to walk in the middle, to
Mhm.
be the virtue. So don't be fanatics of. I never been like a fanatic, like oh you're gonna save the world, because as much as you can save the world, you can put it in troubles.
Oh
Nowadays,
yeah, I mean I think to your point, like that's one of the reasons I'm really passionate about driving like the adoption of these open crypto systems now more than ever is that essentially, yeah, we have the essentially the dark version of crypto that is, with the
oh, it's
CBDCs.
coming. Ooh.
Yeah.
Through
So
fucking a constant quantitative easing and controlled demolition under our eyes. Yeah, yeah. They're gonna try to put in our pockets the money that they destroy on demand. If you don't behave, poof, gone.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
uh, now the biggest issue that we're facing nowadays is with another technology which I work with, and I'm a proud parent, if you want, and I consider it as like a descendant, which is AI. Okay,
oh
uh,
yeah.
I think we should treat AI with the sensibility of the parents, with this fanaticism and. Because otherwise we're gonna find ourselves obsolete very soon.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really crazy how quickly it's advanced. There's like with the both with the art aspect and also with just general like the ability to use it for just general problem solving has just exploded. um but why don't we
oof,
circle
yeah,
back around that after we talk about your cards? Let's talk about
yeah, yeah, yeah,
your
yeah,
rare
sure,
Pepes.
sure. I was saying so. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were starting to describe your when you first created your cards. I know your first two that were accepted were the Pepe Armando and the Pepe SS. Like, did you submit those at the same time, or did you complete one first?
Basically, there was like an intertwining of the two. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Armando
Hmm.
just got stuck somewhere. I don't remember if the transaction got stuck, but Armando was the first.
Okay.
But he ended up to be published after. So in the directory by our email with Mike, I got the email. I sent Armando first, but
Okay.
the other one came before.
Well, it shows that I'm looking at Pepe.wtf right now, and it shows that Armando was card 46 in season three, and it shows that Pepe SS was card 47. So,
Yes. Okay, okay, okay. The story is this. Basically, for the PPSS, I use the canvas because what happened there is not like the ordinals. Okay, it's not
mhm.
even automatic like IPFS and JSON files in the pairing. The cards were oraclized. Okay, or basically the asset was paired with the JPEG, which then is there immutable if you want. but he had to go through a oracle. They were the scientists. Okay. So basically, the Pepe SS is called SS that now became Pepe Superstars in my
Oh, okay.
vision. Like at the beginning was salami sunglasses. That's why it's called SS. It was totally different asset. But then what happened? That my knowledge, really, 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 I promise you, my knowledge of the system was so poor at the time that I didn't consider the onomastic or anything. I just used the same canvas that the card was refused, because basically I baked the card on chain. I send the card to the scientist. I baked the card on chain. Time that he came back the refusal, basically the card was already there. I remember XCP at the time was really, really in ratio with BTC, and I was pretty pricey, and the transactions were also pricey at the time. For a moment, they were like $5-6. Like today, we like affordable, but at the time it was like very pricey. So I reused the same canvas and I submitted the card, which then they sealed, oraculizing the SS with I would call it the slam dunk probably, or something like that. Anyway, my choice of Jordan was because I always liked Michael. He was fucking super, like a Superman for me when I was playing basketball. I never been strong like because, especially because I don't understand the fact that you have to elect some enemies in the, even like symbolically. And so Michael for me were representing whatever I could never do in my life, So whatever I don't understand, I admire for sure.
I really like the way it turned out too. The way you got the Pepe face on there and everything. It's a really charming card too.
It was low fight, but there was like kind of, then we also with other cards I kept the line, because there was like the subconscious knowledge that you are doing something that never have been done before. So most than trying to achieve pixel perfection or like the perfect art style, whatever, realistic or whatever, most of all there was the mission to go on a vintage vibe,
Yeah.
and I think I nailed it. I think, to be honest, I think that the card, at the beginning nobody wanted it. I sent 56 of those cards to the great John Villar,
Oh yeah.
who there was one of my most chat people there, and I was trying to understand what you want to do with your game. You remember the game Rare Pepe Party that then never happened at the time, and I was trying to understand. I do these cards, and what should I write here? What I mean, how is the game? And so yeah, this line where you got stamina, you got the features was to try to integrate it in a potential game of the future, that was coming out.
Oh,
And
okay. That makes a lot of sense.
this card basically I sent for the foundation. I sent him quite a few, and then it didn't happen the game, but it wasn't the best seller card. I have to tell you another thing that basically you see Armando, no? Armando is an animated GIF.
Yeah.
The Pepe says the Jordan one was
Yeah.
animated as well.
Oh
There
no,
was
it was animated?
Yes, it was animated, but you know what happened? Basically, I had like a shortage of electricity, and I lost it.
Oh no way.
Yeah, I tell you. So basically, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm transparent, and I lost it. And so basically, these four Michael there, for Pepe Michael there, they were like acting like if he was going to a dunk. But then I say, damn it, F it, and I'm gonna publish it anyway. Okay, because
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah, that
because
would have
I,
been a
I
sick
was
animation.
come again.
That would have been a sick animation.
It was absolutely. I'm probably the only one in the world who saw it, so I'm a bit biased because it was, but it was a sick animation. Really, it was sick. I lost it, but
Oh
at the
man.
same time, I missed the train to be able to mint like limited issuance, because then
Hmm.
they say these guys, they're gonna change the rules again if I you know
Yeah.
if I don't jump in. So I say, okay, this is my Jordan. In fact, it was similar to Armando in the,
Hmm.
and then the reason that I could drop the static one instead of the animated one without having like to regret too much to my eyes, because I would maybe these cars were taking like hours to be done. There's just the inspiration, but also put it there. Even though it was coming from banners, but it was a bit like a couple of years, was a bit rusty on that. And that one inspired me also to get a very lo-fi vibe.
Hmm.
It was like I wanted to be such that I think the Rare Pepe lighter then after express it all like a glitch. If I
Yeah.
in
Well, I
the
just wanted to point out something too that at least as far as I'm aware, like your Pepe Armando and the Rare Pepe SS are as far as I'm aware, the first like sports card NFTs that have been created, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't intentional. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want, there are sports cards before the one. If you consider, for example, like vitamins is a sports food, there were like the pill, there were like the shoes. But if you consider shoes, but at the end the figurine and the
Mhm.
clearly sport inspiration, yeah, the one as far as I did. Somebody else tried, and after with the name coin to just because they call it with the name of somebody, there was no iconography though, because so it's not
Mhm.
purely an association, the NFTs as we know it, we know them today, it was
Yeah.
just they tried to change the description and pretend that it was dedicated, but it didn't work because blockchain doesn't lie, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was 14 or 12 October 2016 when I dropped the SS.
Well, again. I think that's a really cool story about. I mean, it's a bummer we lost the
The
original
animation.
animation. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you because it looked like this. You were using the same like template. I was wondering why it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
animated
yeah.
like Armando.
Power footage.
Yeah.
Sorry, power outage. And I said, oh, damn. So, that means that it doesn't mean to be. I had to redo it from scratch and say, no, 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 we're going to do it. I mean, I like it like that as well. You know, for me now it became a style, something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is
For sure. I
matter.
mean, yeah. So those are definitely two awesome cards.
But you see the
Definitely.
Armando with the football that crosses the frame of the card,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah, I think that's super cool. Um, yeah, those both turned out super well.
and
Um,
then to do animated GIFs, we were using like the some online program. And if
uh,
you notice, if I had to do them to remake them today, I wouldn't use the same timing. Because for example, on Armando, on the bottom there is a little story that you can't read basically
mhm.
because it's too fast, you
Yeah,
know, and it's a bit too glitchy. But yeah, I also have to say that okay, maybe because it's a wide subject. I think that the Jordan is one of the most remade cards of the Pepe
mhm.
series. There is even a one on the Dunk Rare that I say I say what the fuck are you doing? Basically, they did the same card, exactly the same. They just changed Rare Pepe, and the size. They put Dunk Rare. It's same. You didn't see it. I said to the guy, what are you doing? He blocked me. It's not the card per se. Okay, it's a vintage vibe, but if you do the vintage vibe like today, it's not that you're gonna retain the value of the concept of, you know. And also, I think that the Jordan card, the one, is gonna be one of the most durable memes in history of the Pepe ecosystem, because
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's not like chitty chatting about crypto like a Satoshi or anything. It's just a wide subject, that basically he carves an era. I don't know if in 100 years, like kids, they will know who are Michael Jordan, but if they collect cards, then Michael Jordan will be that face.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And all this by mistake. I'm not saying that I was looking for the heat of the century. Then when I learned, then I basically no, no, go ahead. Then we talk about it later. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, so I mean, yeah, those are two iconic cards. What was the inspiration with the or the idea with the Rare Pepe show?
Rare Pepe show it was like the game. The one was dedicated purely to the possibility of the Rare Pepe party. In fact, the guy goes to the party and he paints all the faces green. You know, it's infiltrated. You know,
Mhm,
like it was like you know, for a game potential. You know, say
mhm.
if I play this card, what's gonna happen? All the other players will be painted green. That's it. And I got inspired by I'm Almighty like um, it's called Muppet Show. I don't know. You call Sesame Street or something in America or something. I don't know. But here it was called Muppet Show. It was Kermit the Frog, which I
Yeah.
changed.
Uh-huh.
I changed with Pepe. That's it. It was a card for a game for the potential game.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Yeah,
from
and so you were doing this all with online image tools when you were creating these cards?
yes. There were like Photoshop was started to be hard to find, cracked.
Yeah.
You know, the beginning, and so say I try to use. Yeah, there was like a Photopia or something like that. It was a
Mhm.
Photoshop online with reduction with less functions, and to make the animated gifs, you had to go to no, it was the Photopia, was Pixel something like that.
Uh-huh.
Online tools, free tools, and there was this machine that you put the frames and it gives you back the animated gifs.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, yeah, I think that the I like the kind of the janky animation on Rare Pepe show. I think that's pretty cool.
Because in the cartoon they used to giggle, no? Like
Yeah.
this. That's why they go up and down. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's
archaic. I had so much fun doing those things. Uh,
yeah, that's cool. And yeah, yeah, so your next card was the RP jail exit, which it's kind of like a play on
PJX,
Monopoly, right?
that one was also very, very, very inspired to gamification. You know, say I don't know what I don't know what they are up to. Maybe they didn't know either, but they was still believing it. Well, so I say if there is a game, we're gonna have to have some like probabilities or challenges in the cards, and I made this jail exit. Then I published also the go to jail. You saw the go to jail, no?
Yeah, I've seen that. I didn't know that you did that too.
It's not in my collection though, because
Okay.
I did it, but I published it with another wallet,
Oh,
basically,
okay.
because I didn't know. Then after 10 years, 20 years, the collection goes by the wallet. I asked Pepe.wtf to join my 2-3 wallets ago around, but they didn't do it yet. There's not. It's clearly part of the same series. No, go to
Mhm.
jail exit, and
Yeah,
I
we
think
could
that one is
yeah, I think we
very.
can get that fixed for you.
Yeah, we. I am constantly in touch with them, but I does not. I mean, we just wanted to point it out. And Jay Lexity is for my in my opinion is well iconic though. I just had to
Mhm.
change the face of the guy there and make it
Yeah.
animated, but it's well iconic. I think the card fits t-shirts and mugs and I
Yeah.
like it. I made a small shop back in time though, where you had the puzzle jigsaw
Mhm.
of the J exit. You could buy it for like $50. Then no sales, so I dropped it. So many things we did and we dropped.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, what was your idea with the RP Silly Walk?
Artistic work is on the line of again on the English culture, I'm in England, and I don't know if you know the sketch, it's basically Monty Python's, and there is this the absurdity of the government, in the government they got like a ministry of the silly walk. You know that, no?
No, I
Yeah,
never
because
saw that one. I
you should see because we are the and basically there is like when you go to see the minister, you have to silly walk, and the minister silly walks as well. Like it's like it's like a parody on how government basically shows you that they are doing something, the silly walk. Actually,
yeah,
it doesn't mean it's not useful for you. That was the reason. Silly Walk is a great story of humor, and that one was like after that. Yeah.
no, that's cool.
And also then I started to since Pepe is my friend, as I see, I wanted always to put Pepe in situations where it was cool,
Hmm.
I'm the cool guy, go ahead. That is the fonts, I think now.
Oh
That
yeah,
is the
so
fonts. Yeah.
the next one that you got like in like kind of going in series though, your next one was also another one in series four. You had a bunch that were in series four. Is that Rare Pepe Golden Ratio?
Golden ratio. Yeah. Golden ratio is a mix. I mean, it's a mix of some like the Homus Vitruvianus, the Leonardo da Vinci.
Uh-huh.
The guy that find out Leonardo was the first one that described the man in a square and in a circle, finding out the golden proportion between all the limbs. No, so you got the finger, which is proportional to the hand, which is proportional to the first part of the arm. Okay, it's the story of proportion of that is used also in photography to create better composition. But my character was overweight, right?
Yeah,
So it was a bit like it was like it's a joke basically, between like the golden rule and the fat man that is not following the golden rule, if you want.
yeah, that's funny.
But he's always laughing anyway, so also
Yeah,
seems like
that's
he's
cool.
swimming. And then I put this like fig leaf on his wee wee.
Yeah.
This is a good card there. I think that somebody took the inspiration. He crossed this one with the Jordan, and
Hmm.
they make a fat Jordan. you know.
Yeah,
Which then when I heard that this guy went to Sotheby's, this card went to Sotheby's, I clearly thought that they were looking for my card.
yeah,
I mean, but I let it go because it's fine. I mean, for the first one, no, for the first Jordan, you don't go to, you don't go to. Anyway, this big auction house, they are not ready for. Not even today, they are not ready for this kind of shocks. You know.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and like what was the deal with the Rare Pepe lighter? Were you trying it was I'm assuming you were making fun of all the shit coins at the time, right? How they were basically all going to zero.
Clearly, yeah, yeah. And also, though, 1 second. Also, though, there is this attempt that I did. The real first asset I registered on Counterparty, I forgot about it because I
Hmm.
was buying Spell of Genesis some now and then I connected to the Rare Pepe through this 4chan advert. And
Hmm.
basically, it was the attempt to make some IRL redeemable.
Hmm.
Be a security. This
Oh,
card
okay.
is. Forget about it. I mean, in fact, in the small print, No, it's no more. It's no more valid. I want everybody to know that I don't have lighters to back it. So, but on the also I baked 1 billion, so I'd be in trouble now. I mean, like, and also my like what saves me is that the card is worth more than a lighter.
Yeah.
Having this, you're not gonna change it, right? You
Mhm.
but the small print on the bottom says this card is redeemable for na 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 na, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know about security or like who one test or anything. No, no. It was
Yeah.
a
And
nice, and also as you said rightfully, is that all these token were just vaporware or something to burn if you want. You see the glitchy, it's an extremely glitchy composition which doesn't
yeah.
give you the time to,
Yeah.
doesn't even give you the time to read properly what's written. But
Yeah,
this
for
is like
sure.
a strategy that YouTube Shorts is using today. If you leave the card there, it's gonna play like 50 times, and so the number of viewers go up.
Mhm. That's funny. Yeah, what was the idea with creating the billion supply for it?
Bigger supply was because actually also you see how many stores they interconnect in a small. The bigger supply is because at the time being me a smoker, I was always looking for a lighter.
Mhm.
So you say the more the better,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
the thing.
That's funny.
And then I
Yeah.
also wanted to try. Say, I'm really sorry because it was like this halo of I've been a bit like hit by not to give up, but I was like a bit upset that I came in when the rules changed while I was publishing. My cards get rejected, and then they started to say no, minimum is 100.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to try the spectrum to have the minimum supply and then maximum supply with others. Maximum was not the maximum, but a lot supply. We were not thinking about value because, for example, this lighter was there was, I don't remember what was his name. There was a bot from a Japanese, I think, connected to Zaif. That basically you load your cards, you load some BTC, and basically whoever goes there can have them for free.
Mhm.
And I think I gave away like 50 millions, 100 million, 100, no, 50, 40, 50 millions for free. They are never ending, like I thought I gave them a lot, but actually I still retain the majority because a billion is a billion.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I gave away for free so many. Was like, what the cardboard? No, not cardboard. I don't remember. There was this dispenser. It was a dispenser, but that you don't pay anything. You just go there, you click the button. The who puts the assets there puts also the gas fee, the transaction fee. Sorry, gas fee. Sorry, it's another story. The transaction fee. So yeah, you were paying to give away freebies, and so I did for months, for many months, and then nothing. I could never manage to give them all. I'm still
Oh,
doing giveaways, but nowadays when I do giveaways, I meet somebody, and yeah, well, I love to give away stuff. I fucking love. But the problem is that now that you give away to somebody you don't know, they sell it,
I know, right?
and you know, they undercut you. Say, what the
it's it always feels raw to give something like when you've only given it to a few people and then to see it back on the market, you're like,
Yeah, yeah. It's terrible. I mean, um, I made my comeback like last year. Then let's go on. Then I explain why I had to leave. Anyway, I made my comeback. When I come back, the people I meet, young artists that are much more like gifted than I can be, like in composition, because I'm a conceptual artist basically, and they are very, very gifted, no? They are not too strong in memetic. I have to say that the memetic and the real, like trying to achieve a universal meaning got a bit like worn out. They always try to like take a picture of something very specific, while I was trying to be much broad. But they are they got beautiful, beautiful composition. And when I meet them, I say, oh, wow, wow, wow. I say, you want to trade? Yeah, yeah, let's trade. They give me like one of their fake commons or a fake rare, and I
Yeah.
give them maybe jail exit, or I give them a golden ratio. And then sometimes I found them back to the market. I don't want even to know who was. I don't. No, 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 really. I usually don't investigate because everybody is free to do what they want. But me as the giver, I was like a bit like. So when I give away now, I give away my last drops. Usually,
Mhm.
that's it. But yeah,
Yeah,
go
it
ahead.
yeah, that's funny. Your last card in the OG set would be the Rare Pepe Fawns, which is a
Fonts.
fun one.
Look, to be honest, there is another one. Then I tell you, there are another two,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't finished there. And Rare Pepe Fonts was exactly what was the epitome, like the paroxysm, the top of the Pepe being the cool guy. You know, you remember the
Mhm.
fonts. Everybody remembers the fonts. The
Yeah.
fonts was the guy when he goes into a drive-in or in a club, he goes like this, and a lot of girls come to him. And for me, Pepe was I wanted to put Pepe in that situation. You know, save Pepe, you are the coolest guy. You know, when you are there, all the girls are yours. And yes, the composition is a bit glitchy, but if you see there are girls coming in and kissing him, you know, like that card also has got a problem that is like it's not it's divisible,
Oh,
not
okay.
not voluntarily, and this we didn't catch it. It was divisible. Now it's still divisible, but that's it. You know, there are some cards that are divisible. You know,
Yeah, there's
by
like what, like probably around 13 or something that slip through.
mistake. Yeah, yeah. And the Pepe Fonzi the Pepe is the coolest guy. For me, it was like he can get all the girls. It
Yeah,
was a
that's a
moment.
cool one.
Uh, then I made the go to jail,
Hmm.
and then I made another one dedicated. It was a share card. This was called such share.
Hmm.
Because before OpenSea, before we made a little auction site for cards,
Uh-huh.
but it was totally manual, you know, like fucking I
Hmm.
couldn't manage it. Like, wow, I had a collapse. Basically, I was like managing like 30, 40 emails a day for like to make like 50 pence, not even $50. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the such share is on another wallet. It's a black card. It's good,
Uh-huh.
good art, and also there is a question answer, pretty enigmatic. And yeah, and then there is the go to jail, which pairs with the jail exit because you cannot
Hmm.
do a jail exit without the go to jail. I forgot the about jail exit. One of the most like the dream of like when you are into mem, sometimes you see in a small card, you see a universe unveiling. And I was thinking maybe this card one day can be used in IRL. Maybe
Hmm.
you are speeding, the police stops you, you play the jail exit. You know, it was all again, you know, doing this paper. Sometimes I was feeling like young, 20 years younger than I was. You know, I was feeling like a kid, like wow, beautiful. Then yeah, I had the reality check, which is really I got very very little things that I regret in my life, honestly. And not even like selling like tons of cryptos for a price, stupid price, and then see them like going 100 times higher. I don't regret that because you know you never know what's going to happen in the future. But what I regret is that I had a call. My friend at the big plumber company. His father has a big plumbing company. His father passed away, and time like 6 months, it was like almost on the verge of closing it. So I had this call, come and help me, and so I did, and I quit. And this is regretful for me because I was mainly working in the night for these papers, and I went to do this IRL job, and I missed all the rest of Rare Paper. Otherwise, I would have dropped in all serious. But
Oh yeah, that's
it
yeah.
was really a call. It was really a call, and I felt like I had to go. I left everything halfway, and for example, I left a card which is a Super Pepe already on chain. There is no image because it's not rackalized, but I send it to Mike. I got the emails to Mike. Mike forgot to publish it because then I fucked up. Basically, I was not using the computer anymore
Mhm.
in my office. I was going to his office and organize the plumbing company, which I didn't know nothing, but actually succeeded. I succeeded. The company is still there nowadays, and though I had this card, the Super Pepe, which I send you later, the art if you want,
Oh,
and
sure.
it's still stranded. It didn't find peace. It's not in any collections. I tried to drop it in the fake rare, the series zero, because it's
Uh-huh.
2016 December, like something like that. All these drops you saw, I
Hmm.
think they happen in 3 4 months maximum, right?
Hmm.
No, like in a very short time. And the last one was the Super Pepe, which is still not published.
Yeah, that would certainly belong in the series zero of fake rares if you can ever
Yeah, but
get
the
the
fake
torch.
rare, let's not talk about. I think is a operation which I question. I mean, like they inflated the papers, and also there is a halo of kind of. I wouldn't say mafia. I'm Italian, so mafia for me. You made me laugh if you wanna play mafia with me. But I tried to bribe people for the torch, and I couldn't. I say I'm gonna send you. I say I'm gonna send you an offer which you can't refuse, my friend. But I don't know. They are just names in a chat, so I don't know where to find them actually. No, yeah, because yeah, it belongs to Series Zero and the Super Pepe. If you see it, it's got like a face which is so fucking sweet that it belongs to somewhere and it's still flying around like. I say to these OGs, come on, give me the torch, 10 minutes. I promise you, 10 minutes because I know already what I have to do. I just need this. I got my fake as fuck that I bought. I bought one fake as fuck just to drop the card. And I
You
keep the
like
fake as fuck. I'm about to dump it, to be honest, because I'm losing hope. You know, no,
yeah, I
no,
do with the series zero, like do you have to burn a fake ASF to
I
publish
think
one of
so.
your
I got it. I think so. I got it.
okay.
But you need to hold the torch
Yeah. Hmm.
for what they told me because then I made my comeback. I made it like last year because I've been like IRL stuff here and there, and then I learned that the rare paper was finished and sealed, and so everything that came after it was now my real interest. I mean, there is my good friend Gimone. He published a card with a poem like there are too many papers. It's called. Yeah, there are too many papers now.
Yeah, I it took me a long time, but I was I missed the boat on the original Rare Pepes, but I was really stoked that I was able to get a card in fake rares, which is kind of the next best thing. So I was really stoked with how it turned out.
To be honest, the best place to drop if you want to drop is Kaleido.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like the concept of there's a jury and there is like you have to undergo, you have to know somebody to know somebody. It's not really. At the beginning, it was super funny with the story of the scientist, with the even with the little JPEG showing you the scientists. They are just like it was like a rule of the game. But then after, I don't see why to do this selection, and I mean should be more open. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, it's definitely, I could definitely, I have to like empathize. What at least I can imagine that they probably their eyes bleed after a while of looking at all these submissions, too.
yes, you too many papers. And yeah, now we finish the thing. I wanna like talk about 1 second about this thing that sent all of us in pension retirement, which is like Mac Pepe. Have you seen it?
Which one?
Mac Pepe is called. Is
In-
AI generated memes. You go
oh,
there, you
okay.
just you didn't see they made a bit of noise a few months ago. At the beginning, there was no, this thing just kill us. Basically, we finish. Then after I understood, the Pepe finds actually his freedom there. Finally,
Mhm.
Pepe's freedom to roam wherever he wants. So long live Pepe, and you know. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw it, but they dropped like I don't know, of 20, 30,000 papers in months, a lot. You
No, I didn't see that.
you go there. There's a prompt. You write anything, it comes out your paper card. There is the
Oh,
mint card.
I played with one of those in Telegram, and it's really cool.
Telegram.
Like,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah,
At the
it's
beginning, I was no, damn, we finished. Meme makers, we finished. I'm not full time meme maker, but a part of me was like, we finished, we out of business. But at the same time, seeing all these papers doing all sorts, it's a liberation for paper. And mainly, I was there for him in the sense
Mhm.
that it's like personification of joy, of the playfulness, uh, and I think he deserves to be everywhere.
Yeah, I
So
mean it is probably the most ubiquitous meme on the internet. I mean, pretty much any Discord or chat or Telegram chat you're
it
in,
goes
it's like,
back. It goes back to the ancient Egypt. It's now Pepe, the student, the thing that I tell you, I saw Pepe before the guy draw Pepe. I draw it myself by inspiration or by and I saw him before the guy. That's why I feel like I can entitle my cards to myself, because we didn't copy anybody. We
mhm.
just gave life to something that was there. There was his breath was everywhere, and we just took it and chunk it on a piece of JPEG, and he
Yeah,
lives on. Now is incredible. Like if you go to see Mac Paper, which I never drop one because I got my AI Telegram bot is coming out with an experiment very soon. It was already out, then I stopped it because, and I gonna talk to you and the guys about it if you are interested. But the beginning I was no, it's finished. But then long live paper, it's free now. It's free. He can have whatever he wants. He can have all the girls. He can have all the situations, and I love it. That's
yeah,
it.
it's wild. The AI thing's been really, to me, it's been really fascinating to see just how it really I mean, gosh, it seems like it's just been the last what year, 18 months, just gone from being kind of like a curiosity and like kind of creating some like kind of weird looking art to actually like creating being able to create hyper realistic and really incredible stuff that so quickly it's changed everything, and also with just general usage too with the like chat gpt and whatnot too is really taken off.
Uh, yeah, we have to be kind with these systems, because something that they will never be able to do, which is, for example, randomness, real randomness, or feelings. They will never be able to do them. But if, for example, if we talk about feelings and we got negative feelings, I tell you, better don't have any than have negative ones. So we have to rejoice and and keep it like in a certain way to be used to stay on to remain useful as humanity. It's a serious subject. Well, maybe we shouldn't even associate it with our laughing chat, but we can be out of the business, you know. And so what we have to do, we have to sit down and create a new covenant. You know, we will have to. This is our creation. This is our son. You have to treat him like a son. You know, and there's somebody using it in the wrong way. For example, it's been roaming for years and years in the deep web, and somehow if there is a general intelligence, the general intelligence thinks that some horrendous practices are normal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Imagine if a kid you educated in like in places where they sell drugs, they sell organs, they
Well, I
what's
mean,
gonna
it's
what's
even
gonna
I think
happen?
it's even bigger though. I mean, we have these governments and large organizations that already are using like gaslighting propaganda to normalize really atrocious things too. So it's
Absolutely.
not like you don't even have to go to the deep web to see that
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. Exactly. No, I was as usual when I try to reason, I reason by extremities. So whatever it's in between, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, now we see governments that they just can come out with a straight face, tell you something that is really absurd and we shouldn't accept it, but for peace we accept it. To stay in peace, to be able to keep on our life. Not everybody is an activist. Not everybody would like spend his life challenging these atrocities. Because as much as it's an atrocity, a physical atrocity can be a atrocity, a logical one. I don't want to go deep in that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, there are so many examples in real life now that if you go back 20, 30 years, they wouldn't be accepted. That wouldn't be an option, and now today is a normality.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
I guess I just kind of close it like one thing that it's been fascinating to see play out in the last few years is you know all of the data that proves that we have this COVID-19 virus that was just it was bioengineered in a lab. Whether it was however it was released, we don't know the specifics, but we definitely know it was lab created. And to see all these different, like, over the past few years, these different government and non-government organizations that we now have, like, FOIA requests and documentations proving they were actively trying to lie to the public and
oh,
conceal
of
it. I
course,
mean, it's just
yeah.
I think that's just another interesting example of how these complex systems play out. And like you're saying,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what would an AI model like draw from that, right? I mean, I don't know. It's definitely wild times.
But sadly, I have to add to what you say, perfectly right. Just one thing about memetics, and I think that memetics help them a lot to put up this construction, because basically, if you want somehow consider, okay, this is my opinion. I don't do proselytism. I don't have enemies or anything. Imagine COVID being a meme. Okay, so as a meme, which is a mental virus in this case, I talked to you about it and you got it.
Yeah.
So, so basically, they also use the propagation of these memetics to against the actual good spirit of it. Just to propagate bullshit, and it's very, very contagious. It's worse than a physical contagious because I talked to you about it and you got it in your mental categories. It's spreading like fire, even if it don't exist. If you want, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like we're living in wild times, but I tell you something, the truth is unstoppable. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not a thing that you can um, partake with somebody that is completely indoctrinated by television. You don't even have to try it. They're gonna kill you. Your brother's gonna kill you. But for some individuals which stay in the truth, mm, it's unstoppable, unstoppable.
Yeah. I kind of like you. Even though we have a lot of people that are like unable or unwilling to kind of see truth, I still remain optimistic because, it, like you said, it's it's something that can't be stopped at this point.
It's gonna be stop because if you tell me bullshit in my face and I'm gonna laugh in your face as an answer, my laugh speaks louder than your bullshit. I mean, like, leave me
Yeah.
alone, you know. Okay, and there is sorry, but there is there are laws in this cosmos. There are laws which they don't consent to. They consent to the bullyism to be applied only to subjects they are not fully conscious they exist. If you know that you exist, in which terms you are here, I'm sorry, but if they hurt you, you come back double.
Yeah.
So it's not in their interest to go and challenge you. That's
Yeah.
it. It's been a very nice conversation, my friend. You
Yeah.
just
Is anything else you wanted to touch on in terms of I don't like, how it feels looking back, having this catalog of kind of influential cards, or anything you want to talk about going, like, what your
ah,
vision going forward?
that's pretty much it.
Okay.
At the time of my life, when I was doing the paper, I was having the time of my life, and then you find out, get growing older, you find out that you didn't even know it. So there is a lot of nostalgia, and also a smirk, a smile that comes out. Like, there are also rules that you can derive. Like, for example, like, I used to say this joke that if you keep on doing mistakes, by mistake you can do something right. You know. So,
I like that. Well,
yeah, my friend.
yeah, well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me today, Yoni. It's been
No, it's
a
my
pleasure.
honor. It's my honor. Any form of attention. Look, to be honest, I tell you that last thing. Now we're going through very hard times, okay? Because from a way of transacting, which is money, okay, which is scarcity represented by somebody else, we're gonna go through cryptos, which, okay, cool, but we know central bank digital bullshit, and anyway, they're gonna still work in a way which doesn't represent our reality because they still work in scarcity. Okay, human beings' contribution to this reality sometimes is just an emotion. Okay, what you give to what the situation you are in, the real value added is your emotion, your happiness, your sadness. Okay, so this to say that the path is still long, but I advise a future where the currency that we pay for having anything that we need is going to be attention.
Yeah.
Okay, attention is the real currency. If you pay attention, you're going to get back something. And actually in English, you say paying attention. Don't know why. I let you answer.
Yeah, I guess what I'd say is, I'd been thinking about it a while, and I think, like, at this point, cryptocurrency is needed essentially as, there's that saying about, like keeping a man honest. Essentially, it's just needed at this point as a framework. A It's the only, like, truly fair framework, like provably fair framework for a currency system. While we still need to, like, use this type of model, right? But I mean,
Mm,
but being able to be provably fair, and avoid the pitfalls of of these privately owned central banks and all the shenanigans that goes on with these other trusted systems. You know, it does play its part for now.
Yeah, we are still in a Byzantine scenario though, where basically you just have to start by the assumption that somebody is gonna try to fuck you over. Humanity needs to get rid of this mechanism.
Yeah.
You know, if we want to go on, uh, actually, I think that in the Vedic scriptures you find much more reference to the real mechanism of this reality than in Christianism, for example, which I belong by tradition, but I'm not practicing. Which where you see that basically there is not that this Tao of good and evil is necessary only in a mainframe of scarcity. If there is no scarcity, there's no need of evil to be good. You know, it's a
Yeah.
bit of so when the day we will pay with attention and we receive back something that actually is what we really need. Yeah, because you cannot pay with attention to have a Ferrari probably because you know Ferrari is something that you don't really need, as I see. Okay, so you're gonna pay with attention to have a transportation. Okay, so lowering the taking away all the bullshit of between us and our real necessities, we will consent us to pay with real feelings or motion of the soul. And in the case, in the scenario, there will not be no evil, there will be only good. It's far away, yeah. We
Yeah.
still have
Well,
to we still have to be Byzantine now. Okay, we still have to have a proven system, trust and trustable system, and once the trust should reside in the subject, not in the system. That's it. You know,
yeah.
it's pure philosophy, not something that's applicable today. Sure,
Yeah, well, yeah, I certainly appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me. It's been a lot of fun.
it's my pleasure. Anytime we're gonna do it again if you want one day.
Okay, that sounds good.